Hello, I'm Harold Timmis. I was your instructor for Intro to 3D Printing here at SmartMaker, and I promised you guys a video, so here it is. So let's get started with MakeWare. So MakeWare is this little icon right here. If you go ahead and click on it, open up MakeWare, you'll notice that you're in the home. This is the home for the home view for your 3D model. You can move it around with the right mouse button click or even the left mouse button click. You can also zoom with the scroll wheel as well. So this is a lot easier than hitting the plus and minuses up here. I don't usually like doing that. So if we want to add something to the build plate, which is right here, go ahead and hit the add button. We're going to go and open this SM keychain 1. And open. You should get a dialog, put object on platform. This object is off the platform. Do you want to put it on the platform? You want to move this to the platform, otherwise your 3D printer will have a lot of problems printing it. So let's go ahead and move it to the printing bed. So now you'll see a few buttons over here. The look is the first one. So this will allow you to look at different views. For instance, here's the top, side, and front. I don't usually use these, but they're good if you need to get somewhere quick and you need to get there efficiently. So if you go to move, you can actually move the object with your mouse. Comes in handy if you're printing more than one thing. There's also the turn button here, so you can actually turn this. So if I, for instance, wanted 270 degrees, turn it, there it goes. And now again, if you wanted to look at it, and you want to look at it from the top view, you could just hit the top button and look at it from the top view. So let's go ahead and exit that and go back down. See, you'll see the SmartMaker, you actually see the 3D model here. So now scale is another interesting one. If you go ahead and grab your 3D model there, you can actually size your 3D model to whatever you want. You can also click it again and you can do maximum size, and you can also do reset size. Now you may notice that when you reset the size, it actually ends up off the plane, actually ends up over here. There's a way of fixing this by going to the move button and going ahead and hitting the center, and it puts it right back onto the build plate here. So there's also a save button, and just in case you need to save the file, the STL file. And then also there's a help. If you need any help, you can just press it and it will send you either to a website or it will allow you to search. The Replicator 2 down here is actually showing you that there is no Replicator 2 connected at this time. If it was just a solid line, that means Replicator 2 would be connected. This computer in particular is not connected to a 3D printer, so that is fine. So here's the Make It button. This is the button that allows you to do all your fun stuff. So I want to make it now is obviously grayed out because I do not have a Replicator 2 connected to my computer right now. The export to file is there, which is good because it's going to export your file that's going to eventually go onto your 3D printer. Now, there's also export for Replicator 2. You can do 2x dual and Replicator. We have a Replicator 2, so we're going to keep it there. Material is MakerBot PLA. You could change this to ABS if you wanted to, or even other filament. So this resolution radio cluster here has a low, fast. This is going to be your lowest resolution. This is your resolution right here, just 0.3 millimeters. And then you have 2 shells and 10% infill. That infill is honeycombs that are within the system. If you had it 100%, you'd just have plastic laying on plastic. It'd be a solid piece of plastic. You don't normally want to do that because it will take a ton of time. Number of shells is the actual shells that are on the perimeter of the object. So it has 2 shells, so it's going to go around the object 2 times before it starts laying in the infill. And then in the layer height is, like I said, the resolution. So if you change that to standard, it's going to be 0.2 millimeters. And if you do high, it's going to be even better. It's going to be 0.1 millimeters. It's going to take a long time for you to print. and usually about a 15% infill. Usually even with standard I go with a 15% infill as opposed to a 10% infill. So now here's two buttons over here, are two checkboxes that are very important. The raft, I use rafts with almost everything I print on the replicator too, only because it makes things come out a lot very level, and also it keeps the project on the build plate as opposed to in the middle of it starting to move around and all of a sudden you got a spaghetti mess. So supports, so say you have a dinosaur and his tail is you know, up in the air like 2 inches. Well, those supports will actually support that tail while it's printing so gravity doesn't take it and push it down. So for this project we don't need it because there's nothing here that gravity is going to distort. So this button right here is extremely important and very useful. It's the preview before printing. I usually preview before printing every time I print unless I already know, you know, what the object is and I've printed it a million times. But if I haven't, I want to see what it is going to look like, this is what I press. So now if you go ahead and you hit this export button, it will start slicing, and slicing, what slicing is doing is actually creating each layer of that 3D object. So this is the toolpath visualization window. This actually shows you layer for layer what's happening. It will also show you travel moves. So it'll actually show you how the 3D printer is going to move to make this object. You'll notice that print time is about 30 minutes. Now say I want to cancel this, I can just hit the cancel button and go right back out. I can even cancel this. And what if I wanted to add something? Now I want to add another one of these keychains. So we'll go ahead and move it into place. The add function is perfect if you want to do multiple components and whatnot. So let's go back to make it. So you remember it was 30 minutes the last time. So we're going to print a raft. We're going to show preview. We're going to do 15%. We're going to do standard resolution. And here's your export to file. So let's go ahead and export. So it's slicing it up again, figuring out all the different layers that it has to create. Right down here. Now it's 55 minutes. Now I found out that that's usually about 10 to 20 minutes above what it usually takes, but that's still a good reference point. Also, it will tell you about how much material is used, which is about 14 grams, 0.03 pounds, which is another good point of reference as well. You can also, if you wanted to, take a look at the different layers. So if I wanted to actually see what it looked like at layer 17 when it's printing layer 17, this is actually what it's going to look like. You can see the honeycombs at about 15% infill. You also can notice that there's actually 2 shells here that it's printing on each layer. So there's also a nice view from top button here too that will allow you to see stuff a little bit better. And then you can actually see how it will progress through its print. All the way up to 36 layers. So that is actually how it will look at the finished print, give or take, you know, a few little pieces of plastic gone awry. So now if you're happy with your preview, you can go ahead and export this. And now it will save it as an X3G file. Now this will save onto your desktop or onto an SD card, wherever you want it to save to, and then you just transfer it over to your 3D printer. So let's go ahead and hit the save button. So it's queuing it. Now it's going to verify it. Once that's done, it's going to print to file. And now if you want, you can exit. I'm going to close it without saving, but there's your X3G file right there, ready to go. So you just put that file onto an SD card or you port it straight to your 3D printer and you're ready to go. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed this. I thank you guys for coming out that last weekend, and I hope you enjoy this video. Have a good day.